now. This is being recorded. So just again, are there any questions on yesterday's stuff? Maybe you can see my screen. I think so. I've tried to share the screen. Yeah, it says it shares screen. So over here in the corner where I'm highlighting, this is basically yesterday's work. Now, in the exercise that I asked you to do yesterday, however, it did break that up into 2 parts. But if you imagine that for each of those parts, you had to have the doc type tag, you had to have the HTML tag and the head tag, you could repeat that. The only difference is the body. So here's one body, and I just added another body to it. So we had this other thing here where we had all these H tags. These H tags allow you to produce different type of headings that are bolded in different ways. And so that's what that one was about. That was yesterday's lesson. Today's lesson, we have another sort of practice exercise. And hopefully you can see that here. I'm trying to, so you can download this. I put a link to that for you. We're going to do a bunch of different tags, a doc type tag, HTML tag, head tag, title tag, meta tag. All of those we've done already, right? So we've done that. So we're going to add these ones, header tag, nav tag, main tag, footer tag. All of these I'd say are kind of arbitrary. What I mean by that is we set them up ourselves. They don't have a lot, there's not a lot of inbuilt meaning into the tag, but we use the tag just as a way of setting up a element in our HTML document so that we can style it the way that we want, etc. So we're going to create this document, which is going to have some stuff about camels. We're going to do that sort of in 19 steps here. And the steps start here. We got to open a file and give it a name and save it. This instructions asks you to do that in Notepad. I did say to you guys before that, it's okay if you use another editor. I'm going to use this editor here, which is, this editor, which is Visual Studio Code, because I find that that's quite useful. I think I got another student arrived there, which is Bushra. So yeah, welcome Bushra, because I don't think you were here before. So yeah, when I'm working with D2L, I notice yeah, there we go. Yeah, Bushra wasn't here before. So I got 6 peeps. That should be 5 students. Yes. So thank you, those of you that come. Any questions? Because as I said, I'm recording this. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. Then I'm going to ask you to do it yourselves and upload it to D2L. So shall we start? So if you get whatever editor that you have, I'm using Visual Studio. I'm going to create a new file, and you could be doing this in Notepad, or you could be doing this in this one. So going to do the doc type equal HTML and close that. Then I'm going to have my HTML. Oh, I'm going to save this now, because by saving the document, by saving it, that kind of gives instructions to the editor of what kind of file we have. And once it knows what kind of file we have, it can give us the correct kind of help. Because when I say what kind of file, you could use this editor to be writing your Python programs or JavaScript or whatever, PHP, SQL. So you need to really tell it how it's supposed to treat the code. And so I choose HTML and give it a name. This is our exercise 2 in class or something like that. It's going to be saved in the same directory. I'm putting it in that directory there. That's fine. You do need to be careful where you put it, but I'm looking at this directory. I'm happy with that. That'll work. And now it's saved. You can see that that's kind of working because the color's changing, right? So when I do the HTML tag, it's going to, when I hit the greater than sign, you see it makes the other HTML tag, and then I'll separate those and put my other parts inside there. I got my head. I always do this as a start of my document, right? You're going to have 2 parts to your body. sorry, to your HTML document, you're going to have a head and a body, and everything else is going to be sort of inside of those. Now, just to see exactly what it is that I'm going to be doing, I'm going to have a move this out of the way and find my Word document. Where are you, Word? There we go. And right, so we got body tag, got to have a header. Header is the first thing in the body. I hope that's not too small for you to see, but it's saying there inside the body tag, we're going to put the header. So we'll do that. Header tag. And then in the header, we have some text, I think. So let's see. Oh, well, we're going to do all these other things, right? Those are, so we're going to have a nav, a main, and a footer. So let's do those two while we're here. Yep. So a nav, main, and a footer. So basically, I've got my document all divided up into parts. Now that makes it easier to put in well, we use the word element. I need to use that carefully, because an element is going to be anything that's within these tags. So here's a header element, here's a body element, here's a head well, yeah, the head is slightly different, but there's a nav element, and so each of these elements can be styled. So we can treat everything that's inside that with a certain way of styling it. And so, yeah, we're going to do that. Now, it does talk about using a comment. So we're going to do that, but we're also going to put in a title. So let's put a title in the head. So in the head here, I'm going to tab in there and put a title. So you know the title is going to show up when I open this in the browser. The title is going to show up as the tab. It's going to be the name inside the tab. So I'm just going to say Mark's what was it, template. This is my template, apparently. So we're creating a template, because with the template we can put all these other stuff in there afterwards. So this thing here, you would put your name, you wouldn't put Mark, you'd put your name and then template. That's, now it's very important that that title be in the head, not in the body, right? These things here are not going to be shown in the browser. It'll show up on the tab instead. So we got, are we going to put anything in? So we're going to have directions and contact us. Where it's, so we're going to use an, okay, we've got some comments here. Use the nav area to add hyperlinks. So that's this thing here. This website is created by blah, blah, blah. I'm actually going to copy that, and you'll be able to see the result of that. And I hope that you can see that. Let me copy that, Control C, and I'm going to put that in the main, I guess, or they say in the header, or where that's it's before the nav, but not in the header. So after the header, but before the nav, I'm going to put that. Now, let's just look at this. If I've copied it correctly and I got everything in, I hope I did, then this is quite important that you sort of follow this idea. Oh. So yeah, that's worked now. It wasn't quite working before because I didn't have enough dashes on it. So this less than sign, then an exclamation mark, and then 2 dashes. This one's got more than 2 dashes, but you only need 2. 2 dashes is enough. And then at the end, you're going to have your 2 dashes again. Sorry. I'm sorry, I've got this cramped up too much. It's hard to see it. Let's get it out there. At the end, you've got your 2 dashes and the greater than sign. Do you see how that's changed color? That changing of color is information to you, given to you by the editor, in this case, Visual Studio Code, to tell you that this is not going to be processed by the browser. This is a comment. So this is a comment. So we're going to change your name to your name, right? And so that's a good idea to do in all of your documents. So that I can know that you've created that. Yeah. So that's basically what you're doing. This when you'll see when we open this document in the browser, you'll see that we won't be able to see this. This is only when you're editing it. So that's visible for the editor. Now, what I should do is I should save this periodically, right? So just so I don't lose it, I'm going to Control S. That's all I need to do. Control S, that saved it. And right, so make sure we've got all the other things that we're supposed to be doing. The header is supposed to say Doha Camel Adventures. You know, I'm not all that fast on typing, so I'm going to copy that. You could do the same. So I'm going to tab it in, and Doha Camel Adventures. You could type it, of course. Is there supposed to be anything in the nav tag? Not yet, I think. Oh, yes, there is. We're going to have home ampersand MBSP semicolon ampersand MBSP semicolon. That's all kind of arcane and strange language, you might say. Ampersand MBSP, what's that? Well, there is an instruction there that says what it is. Non-breaking spaces added, because white space in your editor, like all this white space I've got here where I've put tabs and things like that, that is not processed by the browser. The only way that you can put a space, well, you put one space. It works for one space, like so it'll show up these spaces here, the one space between the L and the A. But if I try and put more spaces, that will only show up as one space. Okay, so I can put spaces out here, and that will not show up as those spaces. The only way, if I want those spaces to be, the browser will show this space here between here and here. It'll show it the same as this space here. Isn't the browser lousy, you might say? But we do have a way of putting spaces in, is we can use this non-breaking space thing here, ampersand NBSP semicolon, all of that's required. That gives you spaces. So that's going to be in the nav tag, in the nav element. And that's why I had this smaller before, so I could read the instructions. So it's supposed to say home and then a couple of spaces. Well, oh yes, because we're going to put the other parts of the so what this is doing is this is setting this up so that we can and it's just like that. So we see it's a non-breaking space. So we got two of those. I do like to copy and paste. If I've got something right, you know, why not just copy and paste it? Why sort of take your chances? So the thing is, so it only says home there, but what I'll do is I'll put another one in there just to show you what I mean, right? I mean, it doesn't mean anything there, but what this would be is there would be two spaces between the word home and the word end, and then we can put a link on them. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what that's going to do. Right. Follow the instructions inside the nav tag. Oh, well, no, sorry. No, I don't need to put end. I've got these other things that I can do. So rather than type all this out a lot of times, I'm just going to copy that. As I said, I do like copying and pasting. I'm going to do that 3 times. And there's going, so even though, so that's the other thing, right? You might say, oh yeah, that's going to be one on top of the other. It's not. Actually, this is not going to be 3 lines, because to get a new line, you actually have to command the browser to put a new line. This will all be on the same line, even though in the browser, it's all in different lines. Here, it's going to all be on the same line because we haven't told it to go to a new line. We could tell it to go to a new line with a command called BR. And I believe we do have, oh, there's a BR right there. That gets us to a new line. And so you'll see that in the next little bit there. So this is contact us. So what this is going to do is this is going to put all in one line. It's going to say home 2 spaces, direction 2 spaces, contact us 2 spaces. And so we'll see that once we finish the code, which will be coming up soon. It's not going to take too long to do this. Now, doesn't say anything about the header, but we got some stuff here for the footer. Again, I just don't feel like typing all this out. So I'm going to copy it. What the heck, you know, just copy between the tags. There we go. And I'm going to replace the footer tags here. They're there, they're nice, but we're going to replace them. And what we end up with, I think I need to explain it to you. So let's have a look. The ampersand copy, the ampersand there, that means it's a special code. And actually, when I put my cursor over it, it even gives the explanation. It says that this is a special code for the copyright symbol. The copyright symbol is that little C with the circle around it, okay? Another way of getting this, instead of saying ampersand copy, we could have gone U plus 0009, and would give us the same symbol. What we'll see when this comes on the browser, we'll see instead of it saying ampersand copy, it'll show the little C with a circle on it. That's what it is. So this is a way of inserting a special symbol, and there's lots of special symbols that we can put, but we're just going to use this one for now. The BR means go to a new line, break. Okay, go to a new line. And well, I hope that's just some kind of because this is shown as a as a email. I think it'll probably be underlined and in blue like it is here. I think. Okay, so we've done that. Let's save the file. It says. So let's save that. Control C. Now, yesterday we had the question, which is, okay, so how do I show my HTML? Well, what you do is you need to know where this is saved. If I go to my, all right, maybe I could make that a bit bigger so I can see where I was. I think I put that in my, better go to, oh, there we go. That one, that looks like it might be where it is. Do you remember? Is it in labs? Goodness gracious. Oh, wrong course. My mistake. There we go. I hope I put it here. No, I don't know. So that's a problem. I can't remember where it was. So the thing is, I can see here if I go and do a file save as, it'll tell me where it is. It's in the desktop in a CP1000 directory, HTML lesson 1. Oh, well, why didn't I know that? All right, so that's where I'm going to look for it. Back here, go to the desktop. I got a CP1000 directory there and HTML lesson 1. So this is my thing. It's exercise 2. I can tell that I've saved it as an HTML file because it's got the symbol of the browser. When I double click on it, it very, very slowly renders in the browser. Sorry. The first time it renders in the browser, it is going to be slower than following times. I mean, following times, we have a few things going on. Don't tell me. This is kind of weird. Have I done? I'm going to have to go back and remark people's work because I marked down students' work where I didn't see stuff. And here I can't see this. That's weird. Come on. Sir, should I download the Visual Studio? You could download Visual Studio, or you could use Notepad++. You know what? I'm going to stop recording now. This is kind of recording. So you see the 2 spaces between each of the menu items. That's your NBSP. That's making that happening. Do you see the little copyright symbol? That's coming from there. And the Doha Camel Adventures at the top. Not really a lot going on there, but there it is. There's our basic website. And we're sort of going to continue from there. I think okay, let's just look at let's make this bigger. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to put a H1 tag on it and cut that and put it inside the H1 tag. We can see that this was the exercise kind of thing we were supposed to do yesterday. Let's save that. Control S, and let's see now. I saved that, and we should see the Doha Camel Adventures come up a bit bigger. So, I mean, very, very small changes can make kind of bigger changes on your website. We've done that. So we got our menu. Now let's go ahead and look at what else we're supposed to be doing, right? So run the file in Chrome, page done. So we had to do that. There was a little error in my HTML code because I used the equal sign instead of just doc type HTML. Place an insertion point in the body and hit enter, create a new line. Okay, so we're going to do this thing here. We're going to put a P in there, and we're going to say, welcome to Camel Adventures, Dormitory, blah, blah. Okay, so let's do that. Let's do that. So that was in the body. So where does it say? Place an insertion point at the beginning of the body. Is that supposed to be before the? No, does it? Yeah, I think I'm going to put it here. So we're going to do here, and it says put a. Oh, sorry. I'm going to do it after the header. Yeah. I think do it after the nav. I think it might mean in the main. Let's do it right here, right? So let's put a P. P just means that's a paragraph tag. I'm not going to type all this stuff out. Why would I do that? Copy and paste that in there. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? So doesn't really, that's the thing about HTML. This stuff doesn't matter if it's all on one line or two lines. So I'm going to spread it over a few lines so that we can read it. Okay. Now the problem is I copied the P tag. So I would have two P tags, and that's not good. They should just match up. So that's that. Let's go back to our Word document and see. Okay. All right. So we're going to put all of this code in there. The dormitory is this, and the dormitory is that, right? And so the dormitory is a type of camel. And so we're going to go and put that stuff here in another P tag, is it? H1. Okay, so we're supposed to put another thing that says interesting camel facts, and then we're supposed to do this. All right, that's fine. So let's do that. And this is another H1, right? Well, I'm going to make it H2 because I've already got an H1, right? Interesting. So I am varying a little bit from the instructions, but only a little bit, because I just do that. And then I'm going to put this other stuff in here. Now, this other stuff is all about the dormitory. You'll see that this isn't going to work out very well like that. I just saved myself some typing by copying the stuff through, because, why would I type it, right? It's all there. So why would you type it? And don't feel bad about doing that. This is not a word processing course. You don't have to type everything. If you find text somewhere, maybe you've got it in a Word document. Yeah, you just take your text over. You don't need to be, as I said, it's not a typing course. It's not a word processing course. It's a HTML course. So we've got our thing. Now, when we look at this, it's not going to show up very nice, right? It looks okay here. It's going to look pretty horrible when we do this. So let's save it, and I'll show you what I mean. So going from, where's our document? I think here. Yeah. 1 meter. So it's all mashed in together, even though I've got them all on different lines here. They're not on different lines here. They're all just sort of mashed in together and quite horrible. So what could we do to fix that? Well, what we do is we have special tags that allow us to do these things. So one of the special tags we have is we can do lists. There's two different lists that you can have in HTML. One is an ordered list and one is an unordered list. An ordered list means that you're going to have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or you're going to have letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, or Roman numerals, I, IV, that type of thing. So that's an ordered list. Or you have an unordered list, where it's just going to have like dots. Dot points would be an unordered list. The way that looked is it looked like it was an unordered list. And so an unordered list, you might guess, we use a special tag called UL. UL stands for unordered list. And so I'm going to put this all in an unordered list. So I have to say, where's the unordered list going to start? Oh, and where's it going to end? So I got my UL tags, one at the start, one at the end. Now each let's say that it's still not going to work because each item in the unordered list has to be shown. Oh, where this is the one. So if I refresh, okay, so now there's my unordered list, but still a mess, right? So I have to separate out each item in the unordered list, and how I do that is with the li tag, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a li. Now, when I close the tag, it puts the tags in the one at the, it puts them together, but I need one at the start and one at the end of each list item. So I put a li at the start and I cut that li from beside it and I put it at the end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the li at the end of each of these. So I'm just pasting that in there. And oh, this is a big one, right? Camels, hairs, keep sand, besides eyes and ears. Is that right? I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make them into a bunch of different. Maybe my list is gonna be a bit longer because I don't want it to be that I can't see everything. So I've got these are closing the li tags. So you see the /li. Now I'm going to put the start of each li tag by copying this one, copy, and just paste it at the start of each of those. Oops. Oh, that didn't work out so good, did it? So perhaps I should, oh, I got 10 minutes left. So every time I put the li in there, it's going to give me two of them, right? That's okay. We'll just go back and delete them from it. So that, yeah, sometimes it helps you. The editor helps you. In this case, it's not really helping me all that much because it's doubling up the li tag. It does that to make sure that every time I start an li tag, I close it. But I've already closed it, and I have to just go back and undo this. Yeah, it's not. I do this a lot in web editing. Okay, so I think I got that. Control S, and then look at that again. Renew the page, and ta-da! I got my list as a nice unordered list. And there's our menu at the top. There we go. I'm not sure if there's other things that we had to do. Let's have a look at the instructions. Where are you, instructions? And so so we're getting pretty near the end. They blah, 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 save the file, running Chrome. That's it. So basically when you're done, you're supposed to have something that looks like that. There are other things that we could do to make it a bit nicer. I think that I could put this is maybe we need to have a new line there. So let's just look at that new line situation. So at the end of this, I don't want all of this going all over the place. So I'm going to put a new line there. This one is a tag that doesn't have to have a close. So it's just one tag. It doesn't have a match. So I didn't like this. So I'm going to put our mission on a new line, and that does that. And yeah. Okay, so that's the kind of thing that we're looking at for you to do. We'll save that. Now, when you're done, what I want you to upload to the Dropbox, I want you to start getting used to this now. We've got this here. When we go and look at that in our here in our not in the browser, but in the file manager, what I want you to do is find the file, right click on it, not to run it, but send it to a zip file. Okay, so I'm going to send this to the, oh, well, send to will work. Send to a compressed folder. And then the compressed folder, that's what I want you to upload to D2L. So I want you to get into that habit now. Start with this one, upload that one as a compressed folder, and the other ones from now on, I'll be asking you to do that as well. All right, so that took a little bit more than than 30 minutes. We kind of